Hey guys, let's get more news from Dallas Cowboys, but first don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave your like. Cowboys Dan Quinn, Commanders coaching target? NFL Tracker. The Washington Commanders are looking towards a division rival to potentially fill their next coaching vacancy. According to The Athletic's Ben Standig, the Commanders are requesting an interview for Dallas Cowboys defensive coordinator Dan Quinn. Here's a list of personnel receiving interview requests from the team is rapidly growing. That asterisk list currently includes, the San Francisco 49ers can take a breather or two now. After beating the Washington Commanders 27-10 on Sunday and the Philadelphia Eagles lost to the Arizona Cardinals, the Niners have clinched the top spot for the NFC playoffs. Either the Detroit Lions, Dallas Cowboys, or Philadelphia Eagles will be the number 2 seed depending on Week 18 results. The woes for the Washington Commanders continue against the New York Jets. Former Jets receiver Jamison Crowder, who has been returning punts for the Commanders this season, appeared to be on the path towards a solid return. However, he fumbles the ball untouched as it flies in the air. Here's a look at the bizarre fumble. The Jets lead 17-0 against the Commanders. The New York Jets are riding with a new quarterback this weekend against the Washington Commanders. Trevor Siemian will start for the Jets on Sunday with Zach Wilson still in concussion protocol. Kickoff is scheduled for 1 p.m. Eastern Time. Football fans in Washington, D.C. aren't thrilled with the Commanders sitting at 4-10, and it appears their interest has diverted elsewhere. According to NBC Sports Washington reporter J.P. Finley, the Dallas Cowboys game against the Buffalo Bills on Fox drew more viewers than the Commanders game on CBS in the D.C. area. Sure, the Cowboys and Bills had more playoff implications, but if the Commanders want to turn their franchise around, they need to build more buzz in their own backyard. The Washington Commanders are on the board against the Los Angeles Rams after Sam Howell threw a 19-yard touchdown to receiver Curtis Samuel. The Commanders trail 20-7 against the Rams in the third quarter. Former Washington tight end Frank Wycheck has died from head injuries sustained in a freak accident. He was 52. At this time, it appears Frank Wycheck fell inside his Chattanooga, Tennessee home and hit his head on Saturday morning, a statement on paulkuharsky.com read. He was found unresponsive that afternoon. Wycheck moved to Chattanooga, Tennessee, this past summer, to be closer to his family. He leaves behind 2 adult daughters, Deanna and Madison, both married, and 3 grandchildren, Leo, Stevie, and August. Jerry Jones, couldn't be more pleased with Mike McCarthy, he's the big difference this year. Cowboys owner Jerry Jones said over the weekend that we'll see how each game goes in the playoffs when asked about head coach Mike McCarthy's future with the team, and the topic came up again during a Tuesday appearance on 105.3 The Fan. Jones' answer was seen as leaving the door open for a change if the Cowboys should not perform as well as hoped in the coming weeks. On Tuesday, Jones noted that McCarthy remains under contract beyond this season and called the coach the big difference for the NFC East champions this season. I couldn't be more pleased with what he's done, and I really mean it, Jones said, via Michael Gelkin of the Dallas Morning News. Tuesday's comments point more strongly toward things staying the same for the Cowboys for the 2024 season, but the on-field results will have to follow for the matter to be completely put to bed in Dallas. Matthew Collar, Kirk Cousins has many factors to weigh in free agency decision. When Kirk Cousins got hurt in Green Bay, offensive lineman Brian O'Neill was so overcome with emotion that he couldn't express how he felt about losing his quarterback. On locker cleanout day on Monday, O'Neill referenced that moment and said that he has told Kirk Cousins many times since then how much he appreciates him. He wasn't the first overall pick, he's not 6'8", he doesn't run a 4.2, 40-yard dash, but he maximizes 100% of everything he's got, and that story is relatable for a lot of guys, O'Neill said. And he's really, really good, the right tackle added. O'Neill made no bones about his stance. He wants Cousins back under center. While he stopped short of saying he was going to make his voice heard to management, the Pro Bowl tackle did say that if his opinion is asked that he will advocate for Cousins' return. 1,000,000,000%, that's my guy, O'Neill said. I'll tell anybody that. I would rather have nobody else under center than Kirk for us. I love that guy. It's likely that opinion is shared within most of the locker room. Over the last 2 years as the roster turned over from the previous regime, Cousins has emerged more and more as the franchise's leader. O'Neal told a story about a day at the lunch table when the Vikings were 0-3, in which the veteran quarterback talked players through all the rough stretches they had along the way and how they fought through them. It helped ease the tension of a difficult start. If the decision for the Vikings at quarterback was as simple as whether Cousins' approval rating from his coaches and teammates was high, he would already have a contract by now. The NFL, however, is an economics game. It's also a game of windows. With 32 teams constantly rising and falling, every club is in a different phase of win now, competitive rebuild or full rebuild mode. The Dallas Cowboys are interested in hiring Kirk Cousins. You know who understands this well? Kirk Cousins. Moments after Cousins' fellow captain campaigned for a return, the veteran quarterback talked about his approach to possible negotiations with the Vikings and the potential of becoming a free agent for the first time since 2018. In laying out his wish list for a home in 2024 and beyond, he started with whether the team can compete for a championship. I think it ultimately is about winning football games, and so that will be the most important thing, winning football games, Cousins said. With that, no one thing is in a vacuum. Usually you win football games, because there are some other factors that are really important to me that are going to have to be there to be able to win football games, so it all ties together. The factors work together, but I certainly believe we can do that here. The Vikings have won a lot of football games since Cousins arrived in Minnesota. He is 51-39-1, including playoffs, and 17-9 since Kevin O'Connell was hired prior to the 2022 season. He has been blessed with the top wide receiver walking the planet, an elite receiving tight end, 2 top-notch tackles and a young receiver in Jordan Addison, who finished with the 3rd most receiving yards among rookies. That's a lot to work with going forward. However, the Vikings roster has a boatload of free agents. Hitting the market is 31.5 sacks, around 3,500 defensive snaps, 77 receptions between KJ Osborne and Brandon Powell, and the 20th ranked left guard in pass blocking who gave up 0 sacks. The team has cap space. OvertCap.com projects $37 million, and that doesn't begin to touch on restructures. But the struggle for the Vikings since signing Cousins in 2018 has been finding the cap space to keep everyone on the current roster and add in free agency. The largest deal that the Vikings have signed for any player since 2018 in total cash was nose tackle Michael Pierce at $27 million. That brings us to another challenge for Cousins. Would he take a hometown discount to stay with Jefferson, Addison, and O'Connell and keep his kids in the same kindergarten class? And you fan, what do you think of the Kirk Cousins situation? Leave your opinion in the comments.